Sometimes animals just don't want to do things to schedule, and this was the case when JCS moved Mukalu, a 2-year-old male snow leopard, from Dudley Zoo in the West Midlands to Darjeeling Zoo in India. You see, Mukalu didn't really fancy getting in the crate, which is obviously the one thing he needed to do, especially because he was such an important cat. Why? Because the hope is that once he sired cubs, those cubs can be released into the wild. So, despite various tactics used in trying to lure Mukalu into the crate, in the end, the best way to move him was to dart him, get him in the crate, and bring him back around. Once he was safely in the crate and the paperwork sorted, Mukalu was brought back around for the long journey ahead. This move operation was one that had taken some time to put together and had all parties on both sides of the world hoping the best for, as Richard Brown, the creator at Dudley Zoo, explained.
It's taken a long time to get this move on board. It's probably been around 12 to 15 months in the planning, working with the Indian authorities and our local authorities. We've sort of come together today. So we've just loaded the cub up and looking at a 2-day journey now. He's going to actually arrive at Kolkata on Friday afternoon, where he'll spend 30 days in quarantine there, and then he'll move on to Darjeeling Zoo.
Now Mukalu was finally loaded, the JCS Livestock team set off, making sure to be extra careful on the road due to Mukalu still being drowsy from his sedative. Once back at the JCS headquarters, he was unloaded and transferred into another van whilst customs export formalities were being undertaken. A watchful eye was maintained by the JCS team whilst under secure conditions at the JCS HQ. Once he had been fed, watered, and the temperature of the van had been set correctly, he was left to rest in the crate. At 3:30 AM, the JCS Livestock team were back in and on the road to one of the animal holding areas at Heathrow Airport. Once he was unloaded, he was taken to a wildlife cargo waiting room where he would wait for his flight to India later that day. Once the JCS team had left him, he flew out to India and has since settled into life in his new home well. Moving forward, the hope is that he will sire young for the global breeding program, and that once his cubs are fully grown, that they will be released into the wild. This shows how important breeding programs, as well as the work zoos and wildlife cargo companies do, is. Through their ongoing work together, the hope is that a number of animal species the world over can be preserved through conservation.